But I like it because if I had hair like you, I wouldn't want to be putting headphones on.
I was going to say something about that. I try to not use headphones when I have this gift. And by the way, your hair is perfectly fine. I don't see why you need a headphones and hat.
But you know why? Because it's at a weird when these early morning things. I'm like, oh God, I don't know. Here, let's see. Let's have a look. See,
Let's see what's going on.
there's
Oh,
a lot of.
Jesus, let it out. You really do have everything. I always
I
like to
mean,
say God's fair. Like he's not going to let a guy be tall, handsome, rich, have a big, you know what, and the hair too. And I think you might actually have everything. I mean, I got to speak to Cheryl for the last part, but I don't know.
well, neither confirm nor deny,
Yeah, exactly.
and also trust but verify.
Mm. Leave as much mystery as you can.
Yeah. But trust, trust but verify. That's how I feel about
Trust,
that.
but verify.
I knew you would know that one.
Oh,
Where
buddy.
how excited are you doing long form interviews now?
Oh God, it's like it literally. It was just fear that kept me from doing it. I'm just going to be totally and completely honest with you. The fear of like, will it work? I don't know. Will anyone show up? Will they come? And you just get that negative voice going. And then after being, losing your job and getting whacked in the woods for a little while, then you're like, oh, now I really don't know. And finally, I just like, enough's enough. I've built 22 years of Rolodex. I know everybody. If I don't know them, they know the person. I can
Yeah.
text Rob Lowe.
Yes, you can, and
And
you do, and you can and do.
and I can, and I do. And I'm sorry about the nudes that I send you sometimes, but I'm really working on my body. And and
Yeah,
your approval means a lot to me.
your
But
Ozempic is next level.
so so it's like to the point where in 5 months, I'm leaving television and only doing it.
That's what I was going to ask. You have 5 months in still on TV before you're. This is your dojo completely.
It's like less than that, 3 months maybe. Basically September, when the new season begins, there'll be a new host of Extra, and I will be doing hot mics for 4 or 5 days a week.
You know that I ended up winning. My team ended up winning net low score for Sunday. Did you know that? Are you aware of such a thing?
For the second day.
Yeah, for the second day, I got a trophy. I got a little trophy, and that's not
So
nothing.
anyone would say it's a 2-day tournament. What happened on the first day that
Uh,
wasn't so good?
a couple things. I didn't play as well, and my member, who was probably a 3, could not putt. Could not putt.
Oh, be careful now. You might not be coming back as the guest when you can't criticize the member.
No, but it's great because my member is one of those guys. Do you have people like you're in the business of talking about pop culture? How about people who are like, I don't watch a lot of that television or movie. I don't know, and they literally don't know anybody. Now, should I respect that, or should I think there's something wrong with them? But I'm talking about people who say like, he was the guy. I guess he had a lot of he had a lot of hits in the 90s. He's like a kid. He had one name, and I'm like, not Prince. Yes, that's the one.
That's the one.
Or people are like, yeah, my daughter, she watches this show. It's got animals in it. It's I don't know. I'm like, you mean Game of Thrones? Like, I think that's it.
Is the dragon an animal?
Like people like that. What is with? Are they more evolved or less evolved? Because part of me
less.
is.
I'm super. Look, I'm a pop culture junkie. The zeitgeist to me, everything that's it. I watch so many. You name a series, I've watched it. From Mobland to Your Friends and Neighbors to Sirens and Four Seasons, and I just watch everything, and I love it. There's so much good stuff in the streaming world.
But so you're okay with people who are like don't know anybody other than who's in their
I'm
actual
okay with
orbit.
them, Rob. I'm not okay with the person's like, I only read like books and I watch television. I'm like, oh, okay. You,
Right.
sure.
Oh,
You just do a
sure.
little Tolstoy and then you go to sleep. You're so evolved. You're so elevated.
So elevated. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because my golf partner's that guy. He's like, You did my wife was telling me about a
Did
show
he
you
know who
did.
you are?
No, I don't think so.
Even we met in a Ralph's parking lot. This nice guy, Rob. I don't know. He
I
seems
didn't
nice
know.
enough.
I didn't know. There's somebody said that they wanted me to take a picture with you. I was like, okay, I don't know. It's like that. It's that stuff.
If I'm you at that point, I say, "Do you know who I am?"
And they say no. They say, I don't go in for that Hollywood stuff.
Yeah. Okay, but how about over a very long period of time? He's been doing this a long time, Rob Lowe, at a high level.
I don't know. It's still possible to fall through the cracks.
Did you ever fan out? Did you ever like have like a moment where you couldn't, no one would answer your phone? Like Sly Stallone
Oh,
had a moment where no one could, Kevin Costner, no one would answer his phone. Or have you consistently been doing this at a highly scheduled level for 40 years or whatever it is?
yeah. Well, listen, just St. Elmo's Fire is 40 years
Yeah. Oh,
in
wow.
this year. So I was 10 years before. It's going on 50. It is 50.
Did you have a drought? Was there like, 15 years ago, was there a moment or something? I don't remember one.
I mean, first of all, it's all relative, right? But yeah, every single person you mentioned who's had longevity is going to have a drought, and it's all about how you manage it and what like anybody can have a career when things are good. It's how do you have a career when the phone isn't ringing as much, and
Yeah.
there can
What do
be
you
any
do?
reason.
Yeah.
There can be any reason for it. It can be a couple of projects didn't work, or you pissed somebody off, or you had something in the news, or whatever it is. And the real question is, what do you do then? For me, it coincided with I had just gotten married, and so I devoted all that sort of energy and time to building that part of my life. It just, thank God, it was that thing. And so I was like, going to pumpkin patches and reading books at night and tucking kids in and
So
happy as
things that really aren't that worthy is what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah, exactly. That's stupid shit.
Paying attention to my children, making sure
Yeah,
they don't have a
just
terrible complex. And
yeah,
look at the relationship you have now. I mean, you guys are posting ab photos, just, topless photos side by side, equally ripped, dad equally ripped as son. I mean,
yeah.
I saw that.
My boys, I'm very lucky that, but you get what you give. I loved spending time with them, from the beginning, and now the gift is I don't want to say love spending time with me because I know I'll get a text from my youngest going, "Don't talk about me that way," or giving me shit about it. But they like me. Like Sally Field said at the Oscars, they like me. They
Yeah.
really like me.
I would say how could they not? Yeah, it
Um,
looks like the relationship is really.
it's good. It's really good. So anyway, we were in this golf tournament, Bushman, and you were telling me about the infamous moment that you've navigated so well, by the way. Hats off to you, dude. I think
Thank you.
you're we're not I was gonna say they tried to cancel you. They actually did cancel you.
No, they did.
And
But
but you've
it,
come back roaring, and I actually think it's led to I think it's led to even better things for you. I do. I really, really do.
well, I mean, if you want to talk about going through something in life, you see this right here?
Hot
This
hot
is
mics.
the
Oh, I
name of
see.
my new endeavor is hot mics. It is the hot mic
That
that
killed you.
silenced me. And it wasn't really me talking. I mean, I was on it, but that those things that were the hot on that bus, they silenced me. And now here we are 8 years later, but I own the name now. And it's the thing that's actually giving me a gate to my authentic voice to say and opine and question and feel exactly as I do. So it's crazy that journey to get to this place, but I've kind of taken it back in a way and set myself free. I hate the process. Holy shit! I almost killed myself. It was so brutal.
I mean, you and I have been friends a long time, and when you were in the thick of it, I think we talked a couple of times about it because I think it's always helpful to be around people who've in the public eye who've been through stuff. And
Mhm.
but I didn't know what you told me the other week is that when you were on the bus with Trump, you never heard him say any of it because
It's
you were.
amazing.
And
It's amazing. You see,
tell that
what
story
people
because
don't get is the nuance of like what occurred in the moment. It's actually riveting because, you know, with enough distance now, you have to imagine a bus is rolling towards an arrival scene. At the arrival scene, waiting for the bus to pull up and its door to open, is this woman with whom Trump is going to have a scene on a daytime soap opera. Let's remember who he was. And the scene was he was going to film a scene as a billionaire who's trying to, as this gold digger is coming after this billionaire. She plays the role of the gold digger. So she's in a skimpy, like tight little dress and she looks incredibly sexy. And she is. And Trump and I are, the camera leaves and it goes 300 yards up to the arrival scene so it can film the arrival, film the opening of the door. Our microphones are still on. No one knows, we find out later, is the guy, while his camera's on the ground, is still rolling. So the audio is being recorded of everything that's happening in there. And this is when, whenever you're with Trump, and I was for 10 years, there's two major topics, golf and the P word. And today was not a golf day. And he was just going. He was talking. But I always remembered that tape as the Nancy O'Dell tape because he kept talking about my co-host, Nancy O'Dell. I love Nancy. What happened to Nancy? I used to try to get her to, go furniture shopping. I tried to buy her an armoire to see if I could and I'm going, oh, wow. Yeah, Nancy, very beautiful woman. And he's like, what did she do to us? I'm like, man, she's very beautiful, very, very lovely person. Got off the Nancy beautifully. And then to change the topic, I look out the window and I see the woman, the gold digger, the nice actress who's going to play the gold digger. And I go, Donald, look who's waiting. She is hot as shit. And that's literally the only thing I say. Hot as shit. My 77-year-old mother called me, weeks later and said, I wish someone would say that about me.
by the way, though, today I think even hot as shit gets
Is
you
there
canceled.
a woman? Raise your hand if that offends you. I don't think so. So that's all I said. But then he went on, and as he was saying the things, I'm so famous I can literally grab, women wherever I want. At this point, I am looking out the window. I am looking at the producer. I'm looking at the arrival scene, looking where the cameras are, because we are now 20 feet away. And I'm not I said, hey, right. Okay. Whatever you want. Oh my God. And it doesn't register with me. The first time I actually hear that on a tape is sitting in the general manager's office at the Today Show. The guy, because I'd now made it to the Today Show, and it was my second month on the job when it's a month before the election. And he's like, hey, you got to see this thing and that. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. But it's the optics, right? It's the optics that he says that thing to me, which does not register to me. I no recollection of those words ever being said until I listened to it October 3rd, 2016, a month before the election, 1 month, and 2 days before the second debate when they're rolling this thing out. And I'm like, okay.
And by the way, when was the scene on the bus? Was it a month before, 3 weeks before?
2005.
Wait, whoa. It was years
See,
before.
this is the crazy. People still don't know. This is an 11-year-old tape at the time. And the reason why people were looking for it, NBC put out an APB, an all points bulletin on Donald Trump because there's some former pageant girl, queen, I don't know, came forward and said he had done something inappropriate. He had said something. He was very much, and Donald Trump said, I've never said or done anything inappropriate with women ever in my life. And then NBC, who hates him, sent out these messages to every division of the company. Do you have any tape? What they really wanted was Mark Burnett's tape, the guy who ran The Apprentice, because there's outtakes forever. But does anyone else have anything of him talking disparagingly about women? We need this, we need this, we need this. And my producer at the time was like, holy shit, the bus ride. That tape that was like 11 years ago. Wait a minute. That's the time when Bush called me right after it happened, the day of the filming in 2005. I called my producer and said, "You're not going to believe what Trump said. My God, he's going after Nancy." All I said was Nancy O'Dell because I didn't hear the other stuff. I said, "He's trying to take Nancy furniture shopping to sleep with her. This is crazy. He's done it again. The guy's an animal." I reported basically to my superior. It sits in a desk forever because at that time, Rob, you got to remember the key. Had that tape leaked out when it actually occurred in 2005, I would have been fired for an entirely different reason, killing their cash cow. Trump was a protected, revered source. He was $100 million in profit for NBC. He was the king of the ratings. A cheap reality show to make. You go make 911. It costs a lot of money to make that. The Apprentice cost nothing, and his ratings were huge. So this was a cash cow, and they had, they would have fired me for injuring their cash cow. But then years later, the falling out and the pageants that he used to own the pageant and air it on NBC, and they have litigation and they hate him, and now he's running for president and they want him dead. And so the landscape changes entirely. And they say, "Oh my God, remember that tape? Remember that tape?" They send it. So my producer, instead of telling me, sends it to the general counsel of NBC and says, "I got something. I don't know if I can use it because the two microphones are on. The camera's not there. He may not know he was being recorded. And in California, if you're recorded, both parties need to know. It's a dual consent state. So I don't know. This could be litigious, and he is litigious. But take a look." And the general counsel at that point says, "Yeah, thanks. We'll take it from here. Bye-bye." They had what they thought was now the one thing. We've learned later, nothing takes him out. But this, at the time, I think everybody agreed had to be the thing. So whoever's the collateral damage around it, tough shit. The bigger mission is this man not becoming president. And so it was the craziest week. I written a chapter about it. So when I eventually, the play-by-play of how this thing unfolded and how it went through the halls and up to the 52nd story, the floor, to the bosses, to the CEO, to the this, to the that, and how it eventually just came out while I was sitting on an airplane flying home, is a riveting tale. I can't decide if it's a book or a series or what, but it's unbelievable. And it hit. And then it became so big, they fired me. They moved to fire me. And amazingly, he went on to be president, but they fired me. And the thing you don't understand is it's also very political at the Today Show. The women liked me being there, and I took over the chat show hour. The whole plan was for me to turn it in. I was to be the next Regis Philbin. Regis was stepping down. I was going to take the 9 o'clock hour. We were going to move it to the top of the Rock. It was going to be, with top of Rock Center, 30 Rock, where they have a cafe up there, and we have a jazz band and the whole thing. And like tourists could come and fans could come, and we would be the greatest 9 o'clock chat show. They still have done nothing with that hour. It's a disaster, but that was the plan. And the women from 9 o'clock on loved me. Hoda, Kathy Lee, that was my people. The men in the earlier hours did not. They did not like the fact that I was younger. I had a full head of hair. I had some charm, and I think I was a little bit DOA anyway. So there you go. Rob Lowe is getting this is called the Rob Lowe down. Okay.
This is the long knives at the Today Show were out for you.
Yes, sir. Oh, for sure.
From the beginning. And I know you said it, but it's just amazing to think about. Two of you on the bus. One of them says, "Grab him by the you-know-what." The other guy,
I hate that word,
doesn't really hear it. One guy gets fired and the other guy gets elected president.
Yeah.
You couldn't write it.
It's ironic. Matt Lauer called me like a year later or whatever, 7 months later, and he was like, I just can't get past the irony that this happened and that. And I mean, he and I had a very stern conversation. I laid into him because I said to myself, if I speak to him again, I'm going to lay into him, and I did. Um,
Because he was still on the air at that point.
oh yeah, now he was rocking and rolling, and I basically, in short, I said, I was at Access Hollywood for 15 years. I was the big cheese there. Like you're the big cheese at the Today Show. Now, I know we're dealing between a Cadillac and a jalopy, but nonetheless, I was the main man there. And if a young guy who had joined us, who's a good guy, and he's a good guy, and he's helpful to the show and he's good on the air, he's not, he's got everything that is good for the team. You could have stood up for me, have them suspend me, have them do whatever. But the blowing out of me and taking my entire livelihood and career and making me unemployable and just wiping me out for something that's 11 years old, you should have stood up, and you didn't. And you didn't because you're small and you didn't want me around. And I just fucking laid right into the guy. And he's like, no, 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 I defended you in private. I'm like, no, you didn't. Get the hell out of here. So, and then afterwards, when I got it all out, I said, I called him like a few months later when he got fired, and I said, so how you doing? Here's 3 books you want to read to help you start to get off your ass. Hey, babe.
What were the books? I love. It's still fresh for you as it would be. I get it. I mean,
No, every detail is there. The good news is, and I hope I don't come off as like super bitter, because the gift that came is the gift that's behind me and doing what authentically I was meant to do. I think if I was at the Today Show and I was making $12 million a year or something, I wouldn't be fulfilled, because I'd still be super safe. You watch GMA, you watch Today Show, they can't do anything. They can't say anything. They can't have an opinion. They can't. It's a shrinking audience, and the race is on. Whoever shrinks the slowest wins. And that's just where they are. And, in this world behind me, it's a growing world. And whoever you are, your authentic self is exactly, how appealing that is how far as you're going to get. And so I'm blessed to be doing it, and I love it. And by the way, I like having something, and I was a pretty charmed, kind of sheltered guy. Uh, Nothing had really bad had happened to me. Oh, look, I'm interviewing celebrities on red carpets. This is so fun. Look at that. And hey, yuck, yuck, yuck. And I move on and I get promoted and they pay me more. And this is like, but then this thing hits and you find out who you are and if you can, what you got inside you, who built you, what you're made of. And getting through it is like, I'm not special. My details are really special. The details of my story are like, whoa. That could never happen again. They're unbelievable. But everybody's, I got one of my closest friends, his wife is going through chemo and radiation for pancreatic cancer. No one beats that. And that's like, that could be it. Maybe my wife, your wife or your son or your child is going through something like that. I'll take this incredible story that someday will be a riveting book, and it's already an awesome podcast and all this thing. Now, I didn't think I'd make it then, but I'll take it now. Shit, I'm special, damn it.
I. It's so. There's so many details to that
Oh,
it's almost hard for me to ask follow-up questions in a way, because
where to begin?
where to begin. So let me ask you just some very pedestrian ones.
Good.
Um, who was most surprising that was in your corner? Who was the most surprising that wasn't in your corner?
Let's drop a few celebrity names for the listening audience. Julie Bowen.
I love her.
Love her. We went to school together,
Oh, wow.
boarding school together. Julie, wrote, these are letters and, phone calls I receive. Michael Strahan.
Great. Love him.
Let's see. Cindy Crawford. Suzanne Summers. Dennis Quaid wrote me the most passionate letter. He was like fuming. The guy,
I love
Dennis
him.
Quaid, will say, you can see he's got
Passionate.
some energy.
He's good.
And he was just like, these motherfuckers. He was just,
Amazing.
but I loved reading it, of course. Eric Stone Street and Steve Levitan and, the creator of Modern Family. The list goes, there are many.
Well,
But
that's
in my,
good. That's really good to hear that there was a list
oh,
because
many. I mean, I have them all somewhere. But the, the closest is my brother. And my brother is my best friend. And when his marriage and world fell apart, I was there for him. And in this case, he was there for me. And I would never have survived without him. And then my pastor, shit, I walked on rocks with Tony Robbins. I did
sure.
everything I could think of to keep myself from jumping off the building because I'm like, Rob, I was about to get a huge paycheck. My first really big paycheck. I'm at the Today Show. They still have money. They're the last thing in linear television with real money on the news inside. And I was like, well, wait, and right back to the bottom of the hill, or let's say mid of the hill, and then you have to keep coming back up again. Ah,
And then of course we know the people that weren't there.
the people that weren't there, the silence, and a lot of them, many you forgive because sometimes you don't know whether, like, if someone has cancer or something, or like, so they're going through something, you're like, "Ugh, do they want to hear from me? What do I say?
Yes,
I don't even like
yes.
know how to say this. I feel
That's right.
badly." I always
That's
say,
right. That's right.
pick up the phone,
Same.
call, send a text. Hey, buddy, thinking about you. I'm here.
That's right.
Do it. Do it. Don't, if
Do
you're
it.
ever on that fulcrum where you can't decide, do
Do
it.
it. I always do because I've been on the other side of that phone call and it means so much. And I've also been in the place where I'm like, oh God, I don't want to bring it up. And they don't. Here's what you think. You think everybody's reaching out to them. I don't want to bother them. That's what. And the truth is, not
Convenient
true.
out for you because it is an awkward conversation and you don't know. Like, you know what? I'm sure everybody's talking to him. I'm like, I just don't want to, you know, everybody feels it, goes through it, but I always say, it means a lot. I remember every person that did that. It's like, thank you.
Um, do you have? Do you feel like you have an element of PSD around it?
PTSD?
PTSD, that too. Do you take LSD around it?
Yeah.
Are you a member of the PTA around it? I'm really good.
uh,
I'm really good with anagrams. Is that what they are?
yeah. I mean, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? The thing is like, to people out there, it's fodder. It's like, oh my God, have you seen the Billy Bush and Trump tape? Holy shit. And you send it to everybody, it gets shared everywhere. I mean, how much money do you think Google made on the search of that topic? I mean, they know me in Shanghai, or they've heard of me. But with time, you know, uh, it's sort of, it gets further away. And now I forgot your question.
No. It was just the notion of when you go through something that rings you through the ringer like that. It can be, as they say today, very contemporary events in your daily life now can be triggering
Oh,
of that time.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
if you see a
not
bus,
really.
no buses,
For
no
me,
more
not.
buses.
No, not for me now. I
Oh,
mean,
good,
not. I
great.
think if I think of Matt Lauer got his, so when his name pops up, it doesn't bother me. I've said this before, but the chairman of NBC News, who led the charge to take out Donald Trump, he no longer works there. I think PBS hired him, but Andy Lack ran NBC News, and I have it, from a man. He said to one of his top lieutenants who told me when it was happening, he's like, "Hey," he said, "You got to save Billy Bush. You didn't do anything, man. You got to, like, what, like you did your friend Brian Williams." You know,
Right.
you saved him, brought him back, and like you got to make a plan for Billy Bush. He's one of us. We raised the guy, and the words were "fuck Billy Bush." Like, who cares? This is like, and that I know of firsthand, and uh, I reserve negative energy for.
I
He's
don't.
tire iron guy.
Why? I understand. Look, it's just as simple as Trump is so divisive
Yeah.
that anything in the
And was
orbit you
then
can,
like that's why this whole thing happened. There was so much heat, Rob. There was
yeah,
emotion on both sides.
and there's in it, and there always was. I mean, even when he was just a real estate tycoon, and he would be in the papers every 5 seconds. The Donald this, the Donald that. People had unbelievably strong opinions. That's just
Oh yeah.
always that's the thing. And now he's the president, so nothing has changed. It's only gotten more and more and more and more and more and more divisive. And if you get in that orbit, you better have your fucking big boy pants on
Oh
because
yeah. There's an Icarus effect, I mean, in a way, it's like look, Elon Musk, he flew too close to the sun. He's a big, giant personality, and he got swallowed up. I mean, it's like if you stay in the shade, uh,
but
and
what
in
what
this
but
moment, there's nothing you can do about it.
but
It's
you
just,
you look at back at it just and you go, what could you have done differently? Like I'm
I
not.
people ask that, and I even said on Bill Maher's, Real Time with Bill Maher, and this guy said to me, he's like, "How could you not have said something that this misogynist stuff that he was saying?" And this guy's like posting up and flexing for women to just be like, "Oh, good for you," and it just backfired in his face because before I could answer, Bill Maher goes, "Excuse me, wait a minute, you say you're a comedian?" Let me tell you, me too. When you're backstage, have you heard anything to that nature and maybe worse? And did you say something? Get out of here. They shut the guy down. And it was like, I thought about what would I do? Okay, perfect world. I would have changed the topic immediately. Like, oh my God, did you see Rory McIlroy? What the hell did
Yeah,
he do? And
right.
then maybe, hopefully, he follows me down that trail. But in the end, he chooses what he talks about, to whom he talks at, and that's it. He's a huge whale. Everyone at NBC News was kissing his ass from Jeff Zucker, the CEO, all the way up to Jeff Immelt, the CEO and chairman of GE, the parent company at the time.
He was
Donald
untouchable.
was a cash cow, and he had everybody kissing his ring,
And
including me. Oh man, my lips were affixed to his ass for years.
well, that's part of the red carpet job. I mean,
Oh, I was one of the best fluffers ever. I fluffed you in many ways.
you
Look at you.
fluff me many ways,
You're still
but
smiling from it. Look at
but
that.
but my favorite thing about the red carpet job is the subtlety with which you were always able to shoo me off of the interview because Brad Pitt was coming down the red carpet.
Oh, if I see a bigger fish, I have
You fucking
tentacles like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I just be
you,
like, you can see my eyes leave yours. Like we're talking, I'm like, Ray, so it's
Rob,
buddy,
Rob,
you're tremendous. I love your work.
Rob, I just want to say, I know your mother passed away, and I feel really. How are you handling
We
that?
all
Well,
need moms.
Billy, I'm feeling it. Brad Pitt's here. Brad Pitt's here.
It'd
Did
be
you have
better
a
life if you had your mom. You don't anymore. Very tragic. I gotta go.
did you have I think it was you who had a producer that would draw circles on your back for like who like if there was a bigger star, they draw a bigger circle. If there was like
Well,
sending you.
while I'm talking, yeah, they sort of like we got a medium. Okay,
Just,
we got a huge fish coming.
is that true, or am I making that up? Am I misremembering this?
I want it to be true. I do. It's
It's
not, but
damn.
it's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe I just thought of something.
No, I like you did. The size of the circle is the size of the whale that's on the way.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
I mean, what
As I
now?
train the next ass kisser, I'm gonna do this
I,
move.
I feel like everything in the culture, the red carpet interviews have definitely, they're not what they used to be. I was always like, I don't know. But red carpets are more interesting than they ever been. That's all anybody watches now. The red
Now there's a
carpet.
red carpet for like, we're having a premiere for episode 4, season 3. And like, I mean, of TV shows have premieres now.
Yeah.
And so they're, and who doesn't love a little red carpet action? I just don't do them anymore, really. I mean, I'm a retired red carpet man. I didn't even do the Oscars this year. They were like, this is the first year I didn't do the Oscars. I was like, you know what? It's such a cluster F in there, and you're wedged in between Australia and New Zealand and with your arm out. And I'm just,
Is it a fight? Is it a fight for the celebrity? I mean, you're a made man, so it's like
I'm a made
everybody.
man. And there's
Everybody.
certain people, and by the way, not everybody loves me. So, I've had, to do your job effectively, you've got to have some detractors, and so, but mostly pretty good. And so, I can
Who's
wave
the
them over when, you know,
who's the most difficult interview? And by difficult, I mean I've been lucky on this show, and I've had I'm putting up numbers now. We have a lot of episodes. I've talked to a lot of people, and
yeah,
I feel like I've maybe had maybe one, maybe two that were painful. But
they
that's
just
it.
didn't give anything. They sucked. Their answers were bad. Their stories were bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
bad guesting is the thing. Um, in my day, the legendarily the worst, the most uncomfortable celebrity situation I ever had, and I don't think I've ever told anyone this, but this is, I was young, working out of New York as the first couple of years on Access Hollywood East Coast correspondent. I got the call to go down and interview Ricky Martin in Miami for his new album, and Mariah Carey the night before overheard. I was like, okay, those are two big fishes. Here we go. He had just done Living La Vida Loca and made his return. So I go down to Ricky, and I've been like, I know Barbara Walters had asked him about his sexuality. I'm like, God, I'm young in this job. I'm like, wouldn't that be a big newsmaker? Yeah. So I'm in the hotel lobby bar the night before. I'm talking to some people. I said, all right, ladies, I'm interviewing Ricky Martin tomorrow. What do you want to know? Is he gay? 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 And I'm like, oh shit, that's all in him. So here I am. I'm going to sit in front of this guy. Everyone's going to be wondering, is he gay? And I'm going to be, but he's got the album. He's got the whole thing. And I'm like, this is also a very personal question. It's probably not good. I say to my producer, I think I'm going to ask him. Like, who
Jesus.
cares? I think time's going on. And she's like,
Jesus.
yeah, I don't know. And I get in there,
Oh boy.
and yeah, oh boy, it's already
Bushman,
so awkward.
Bushman,
It's already so
Bushman,
bad. Listen, I'm young, man.
Bushman, Bushman,
I
Bushman.
please don't scold me now.
All right.
This is long. The ending is nice.
Okay.
Sure enough, I say, Ricky, I asked 8 people in a lobby bar last night what they wanted to know about you. I pinned it on the people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, blame
they
the
all said
people.
this. They
I
all said
love
the
that.
same thing. He stiffens up in the chair and he goes, "What?" And I go, "Oh boy." He wanted to know if you're gay, and he goes, "You motherfucker!" He rips off his microphone.
Oh.
Barbara Walters asked me this, and now you don't care at all about me. You want your headline, you want your this, you piece of garbage. Who do you think you are? This is not right. And he rips off the mic. He gets up and he walks off the set, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh shit, get my things! Oh my god! Hi, thank you so much, thank you." And my producer's like, "This is terrible." We walk out. I like go out an exit door. I'm standing on the sidewalk outside of some studio in Miami, and I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened? 3 minutes later, my phone rings, and it's my producer, executive producer in LA. What did you? My phone is blowing up like a Christmas tree. People are yelling at me. I go, I asked him if he was gay. I told you I was going to do it. And he goes, yeah, but you did. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh shit, this is not good. So I'm like, okay, I really feel badly. I feel badly not because of, I just feel badly because he was legitimately hurt. And I'm not in the business of hurting people. I am in the business of figuring out who I am and where I'm going. And you need to be able to make mistakes in life. Remember that, people. So But I say, okay, just on instincts, I like walk back in. I say, can I please speak to Mr. Martin? Ricky, everything's, I have no microphones or nothing. And he's in a room, closed door with like four people, and an assistant knocks and says, Billy Bush is here. He wants to speak to you alone. And everybody leaves the room, and I walk in, and it's just me and Ricky in like a dressing room. And I'm like, Ricky, I am so sorry for asking that question. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a cowboy question. It was inappropriate. I'm so sorry, and I promise you this will never see the light of day. I will smash that tape with a hammer. I should have smashed another one, but I that's it. And please forgive me and the whole thing. And he goes, you know what? And he basically comes out of the closet to me and he says, I've been struggling with this my whole life. There will be a time, there will be a place. It will not be here on this program while I'm promoting this album. It is deeply personal to me. I appreciate you coming back in here. I forgive you. And yes, destroy that tape if you would. And I said, it's done completely. I promise. I'm so sorry. I gave him a hug. And I saw him again 2 years later, and he gave me a great big hug. And we went through it. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an idiot. You have to find nuance in this business, who people are, where you can go, where you can't. See, I'm sitting here with you. I'll share anything because I've been through the jungle. I don't care.
Right.
I'm and it's a beautiful, freeing thing. But people carry shame. Everyone does. They carry shame from something and they don't want to talk about it. It makes them feel bad. I think once you can get over shame, get a real handle on it, you are in for your best days.
I mean, shame exists for a reason, and it's how we handle it, own it, disown it, let it go, carry it.
That's why Trump is successful, but at a cost. He has none. Like he's literally he's a shameless. He doesn't feel it and at all, and that's why he's successful in his way. I think shame can be a good thing. It's a good
100%.
guardrail in your life.
That's right. That's right. I used to think that I used to not understand that concept, and the concept of a guardrail, around you to guide you. I mean, people have different guardrails. Some have their faith, some have shame, some have public opinion, some have this, some of that.
Marriage.
But the notion that you can just run roughshod is a fool's errand.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I've got I'm not. I had such terrible shame over this thing because I couldn't. I'm like, it's now going to be this albatross that holds me down, and and truth be told, let's be totally frank. Did I ever get back to network television and a large check? No. I kept waiting for it. I kept hoping. I made it back to Extra, revived me 3 years after the incident, and I ran that for 5 years. And I realized, no, my answer lies in doing it my way. I've invested in little companies and things like that. I'm going to invest in myself. So I put some money, some shekels into my thing and hired some people. And I don't know if it makes money down the road, a lot of it or not, or I don't give a shit. I'm having fun. I really
When
enjoy it.
when in this new iteration of your life, what's been the difference in terms of just sitting and talking to you? Like, obviously, this interview you and I are never doing at the Today Show or anywhere else that you've ever worked.
No,
So I'm assuming that the actual discussions are the thing that's most
that's why they're
fulfilling.
dying, by the way. I don't understand why they wouldn't.
Yes, I
I mean,
agree.
I would like, if I was at the Today Show and say, take it easy. Let's have real conversations with people. Stop being so afraid. But
What
this is a growing industry. We're growing here. This area is growing.
Well, the other thing is, and they'll be the first to say it. They actually say it in the questions sometimes. Is like, I've got to ask you. They start with,
Yeah.
and and to me, that's the question you don't ask, because it means everybody's already asked it.
Already asked it. Yeah.
So what I try to do on this show is if you want to hear the obvious question, you can hear it on every other interview that's ever been done. You know, I just, did you ask him about the such and such? I'm like, we've talked about it. You, on the other hand, for this is like, I've never heard you in depth talk about what you went through with the bus tape, you know, because I don't think you've ever really had the platform to do it. I'm sure I've done it with you personally, but I mean, and this is my thing about you, Billy, is like you are who you are. You've got how would you describe it? It's you said yourself you got a little bit of cowboy in you, and that can rub certain people who are just want to play it safe in life and are super worried about how they come off. And there are a lot more and more people like that every day, it seems like. And I think people are that they can be envious of it, that they wish they could live their life kind of like just being a bro. And there are other people who just go fucking nuts. But I love that you are who you are. I love it. It's great. I know
Thank
what
you. I have to tell you, what I went through that we've spoken about has helped me really love and embrace exactly who I am and not feel any, worried about it. I used to worry that all the people in Hollywood were liberal and they wouldn't like me because my last name was Bush. And I was afraid of like, Rosie O'Donnell and Caroline Ray. And one time I was at the Oscars and Julie, I was doing the red carpet for the Oscars. So I like official red carpet. So they gave me like unbelievable seats at the show and a fancy gift bag that all the, presenters got. But the show was boring, and I end up out in the hotel lobby, and I'm like at the bar, and I look at Julia Roberts pulls up to the bar next to me, and she goes, "Billy Bush, oh," and I'm like, "Oh God, here comes liberal Julia." I've never met this woman at this point. I've only been working at this for like a year and a half, and I'm like, "Hello, Julia," and she goes, "We haven't met yet, have we?" I go, "No, but what a pleasure. I'm so honored to meet you. How you doing?" And she's like, "I'm fine. You're a Bush, though." Oh my God. I said, "Well, wait, dude, try them out. Wait, meet a few of them. You might like it. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep it afloat." And we're talking for a minute, and she goes, "Are you going to buy me a drink or am I just going to stand here?" And I go,
Oh, what a great
"Oh
line.
my God, I'm so sorry. Absolutely. By the way, who's selling drink? Why is it a cash bar in the Oscars lobby, you cheap bastards?" Anyway, so I go, "Sure, of course. What would you like?" And she turns over her other shoulder and she goes, "Girls, Billy Bush is buying us drinks. Come on. What do you want, girls?" And there's like 5 of them. I just get hit with a
Amazing.
$400 cocktail bill.
First of all, I love the, are you gonna buy me a drink or are you just gonna
Yeah,
stand
I was
there?
like,
It's like
"Can
just
we make out some
that's like
way?
a
Are you? I don't know. I'm so in love with you."
that's like a 40s movie star line.
Oh, yeah. Really, right? Classic.
Oh, unbelievable.
"Are you gonna buy me a drink? Or am I gonna stand
Listen
here?"
here. Am I just gonna stand here and sweat?
Mm.
That's my ad to it. Uh,
Stand there and sweat, Julia.
Bushman, this was
I am the Bushman.
great. You are the Bushman. Um, it was great. This was great. I have heard this, you and I have talked about it, but to share it with people and get, there's always another perspective. No matter where you are, what side of you think you know a story, there's always a human being on the other end of that story. And it's always something that's good to remember. So I appreciate you coming in, and I'm so happy that you're in this world. It's going to be fun for you. You're your own master of your own domain now. You can do whatever
Yeah. You know what I
yeah,
want
you
though,
want.
Rob? I want, since you're busy doing scripted, unscripted, and you have so many things going on, what I want is tonnage. So I'm looking for the partner that's going to help me be an original, like Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick and things where it's like 2-3 hours a day
Wow.
live.
Oh, that would be
I
unbelievable.
mean, live tonnage. That's what we're trying
Colin
to build.
Coward is great with that.
Yeah.
Rich.
That's
It
where I
feels
want to go. I want it loose and free and, and all the time. Relentless.
relentless.
Yeah, I
Okay.
need something to do with all this energy every day. I can't just do it here and there.
All right. I'm there. I'm there for you anytime you need me. You know that.
I can't wait. And just remember this, folks, whatever you're going through, whatever's going on in your life, it's going to be awesome in the end. And if it ain't awesome, it ain't the end. Boom.